I'm so excited to show you all of my lovely shenanigans that I've done.
In this case, excited sounds like a euphemism for horny, but okay.
No. Oh, that's right. I should probably do an intro. Hello, everybody. My name is Weebo Jones. You can't see my face right now, but I am smiling. Because I'm giddy. Because after an entire year of this shenanigans, I finally get to show Polly my list. This has been a long anticipated video. And Polly, should we maybe tell the story of how this video came to be in existence?
Everyone loves a good story, yes.
So it all started when Polly came to me and he's like, Weebo, I want to do a video of the hottest ladies of the MCU. Would you be my number 2 in this video to be like the kind of sounding board for... I actually don't know. Why did you want me there exactly? For my judginess specifically?
Yeah, it was pretty much for your judginess because I thought it would be weird. Just me sitting there going, oh God, this woman's so hot, yo. Because that would just be creepy. So I thought, well, why don't I go get like, instead of another dude, why don't I go get a woman to be there and then she could lay in her opinions and so forth about, yeah, I don't think that woman's particularly, etc. Yeah, to be a second voice just listening and judging. And when I thought, who's opinionated and judgmental? I don't know, you just popped right into my mind.
Yeah. I can't imagine why that would be the case, but it worked out in the end. We got like 2 whole videos out of that.
Yes.
And they're about, 40 minutes or half an hour in length each.
After some masterful editing on my part, they did end up being that long, yes.
Mm-hmm. But during the entirety of the recording process of this video, I would not stop slamming Polly for his unscientific workmanship in the compilation of his list of the hottest ladies of the MCU. So I told him that I could do it better if given the opportunity. And so he challenged me to do better. And so I took that and I ran with it, but I kind of altered the parameters a little bit. Specifically, I gave myself movies from 2000 all the way up to, it was supposed to be 2020, but the cutoff kind of eliminated 2 movies from 2020. New Mutants, which came out in August, which I didn't realize came out in August, and Birds of Prey, which came out in February, which was after the initial movie list for this was compiled of males and such. They both missed up the cutoff in January because that's when I made the spreadsheet, which I will show you in the moment.
And don't forget, you went well beyond the MCU as well.
Oh, I did. I did all comic book movies that had to do with DC and Marvel. So I compiled a list of both of those. In total, it was about 70 movies. The list of movie males, as you can see right here, this was the initial list that I compiled of characters and males.
Man.
And the thing that I had to do before I could even begin the elimination of these characters was watch the movies themselves. Because I didn't feel comfortable judging things that I'd never seen before. You can tell where I was compiling the things that I saved. It took me a while, but I got there eventually. That's why it's been a year in the making, because I was doing other shit while I was doing this as well.
File name, Weebo objectifies men.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the Google Doc.
Now, I just want to be clear. My original assertion, if you go watch the hottest women in the MCU, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is the women that didn't make the top 10, and then part 2 is just the top 10.
Yeah.
That's how it ended up getting broken into 2. And that was an ad hoc decision in the process of editing. Here's the easiest way to pull it off. Because originally it was a list of, I forget, it ended up being like, I just listed off hot women from the MCU from memory, and then just kind of looked them up, and then ended up generating a list and then rank ordered them according to my subjective standards. Weebo found it entirely too subjective that I should have applied a consistent scientific standard, that there should have been one photograph from them in character, one from out of character, like on a red carpet somewhere, and then one that was like a headshot. Mm-hmm. A promotional still or something along those lines. And this is what she was coming up with in the midst of the video. And if you go listen to it, you'll hear her complaining to me about these, or at me about these things. Oh, shit. Hello.
She's got some really nice eyebrows, too.
Unlike Natalie Portman, who turned them into that weird geometric sculpture.
You really don't like Natalie Portman, do you?
Okay, you know what? Like I said, I was at least honest enough to admit that some of the things that she's done IRL have creeped over, and
Yeah.
Managed to impact my opinion of her. I'm just saying.
Polly,
All right.
Polly. We need to have a conversation, you and I, about you and compartmentalizing things, all right?
Fair enough.
This is an important life skill. I'm surprised you haven't learned it already.
I retorted, and we shall see forsooth if my retort was valid, that if one were to attempt a categorized set of criteria by which one would judge men and then just boom, let's see what the results are, you're going to end up monkeying with the numbers to put, well, Jesus Christ, Chris Evans ended up way too low on this list with my quote-unquote objective analysis, so I'm going to monkey with the numbers to move him up a little bit. Maybe his hotness while shirtless was underrated. Maybe I should bump that a few points, and it's going to ultimately end up being subjective anyway. Weebo denied this. We're going to see.
We're going to see.
What happened. I'm looking forward to it.
So, if I may, the subjective part I didn't have a problem with. The issue was that it was the limited scope with which you were looking at all of the characters. Like, some of the characters you were judging based off of their choice of firearm, whereas you weren't doing the same thing with all the other ones. Some of them you were judging based off of what time period they were dressed up as. Some of them you were judging based off of, like, how low cut their shirt was in this one picture. And so there was no standardization regarding that. All too subjective. I tried to eliminate that in the final round, but we'll get to that eventually. First, we have to eliminate all of these lovely fine gentlemen. I believe the total number that I took from the characters and the actors playing them, which there are doubles actually, so the total number, including the doubles, was somewhere around 264.
264.
264, including repeats. So that's 264 characters, but not 264 actors. So I ended up making that distinction in the elimination round.
So, interesting segue. You said the elimination round. What is, to use the word that you cudgeled me with during my Hottest Women of the MCU video, what is your methodology? What is your approach? What's the format we're working with here? I'm curious.
So as you can see, there is a twofold point system for the elimination round, which is the very first round, judging the character and how hot they are, and the actor and how hot they are. And so the measure that I used was, would I fuck or not to fuck? That is the question. Or indifferent. There's the absolutely no, there is the indifferent, and then there is the yeah or yes.
Wait, well, hold on. Wait a minute. What? Twofold? You had like the last time we talked about this, you had like a six-fold system of whether they look good mustachioed or not and shit.
We're getting there. This is the elimination round. I had to narrow it down from 254 characters, Polly.
Okay, I see. So, gotcha. So if there's no need to consider how they look mustachioed if you wouldn't fuck.
Exactly. So that doesn't factor in.
Gotcha. No, it's not bad. Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
This is good whittling.
Yeah. So I will go ahead and I will bring up the automatic rejects that did not make the list.
Like, who the fuck is Max Cullen? I can't wait to see who the fuck some of these people are. All right, go ahead. Let's do this.
I don't have a list of like every single dude because that would be quite a bit. The ones that didn't make the elimination round. That's a lot of Googling for me, but I have a few examples of the things that like just automatically did not rank. So this is Billy Crudup, who
apparently was arrested for a crime and mugshotted.
I can't even remember who he was. Here, let's find out. He was Dr. Manhattan. That's where he was from.
Oh, really? You weren't into the schlang and blue schlong?
As you can see, both the character and the actor got a -1 point, and therefore, no, I was not into that.
Apparently, Weebo doesn't want to see full-on CGI thigh slapping blue dick. Huh.
For whatever reason, it just didn't appeal to me. I just would not.
Okay.
Okay, so then the next person, Kelsey Grammer. or Grammar.
Grammar, I believe.
Yes, and this is the Beast from the X-Men films, the older Beast. And of course, his not just character, but also actor ranked a negative point, and therefore he got -2. So automatically eliminated outright. Another gentleman, unfortunately, who did not make the list was Michael Caine.
Well, he was in his prime in the 70s. It's a fine actor, but I can understand you not finding him particularly sexually appealing. Fair enough.
Unfortunately, I'm sure he had his good days, but they are behind him.
I love how you're including men that didn't play superheroes at all. Like, you're judging him on his status as a butler.
Wait, no, what are you talking about? Alfred was totally the hero, especially in the first movie. Without him giving Bruce a pep talk, Bruce would have been stuck under the rafters still to this day. Fat Pepe Rip.
I'm just picturing Alfred bringing him food every day, stuck in the rafters. Okay, go on.
Here's the other gentleman who's another gentleman who did not make the list. Stellan Skarsgård, who played Dr. What's-His-Face in Thor.
Yeah.
And various other Marvel movies. Gosh, I can't remember what his name was.
Really? He was another... Oh, okay. Yeah, he did play the same character through various Marvel movies. Yeah, he was the lending Natalie Portman academic credibility on screen.
That character, yeah.
Well, if you've watched my MCU video, I really dig into Natalie Portman, who's getting worse and worse as time goes on as an actor. Moving on.
Eric Selvig, that was who it was. And obviously, he ranked -2.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deadpool also did not rank.
Really?
Really? Unfortunately.
I know so many women that just think he's the hottest thing. Okay, all right. Surprises early on.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I could pull a Weebo here and be like, well, if that's the picture you're going to use, of course you're not going to find him attractive. It looked like he had his dick burned clean off.
Exactly. That was his character picture. And the character picture is why he didn't rank. The actor picture is not. Because remember, Ryan Reynolds played more than one character within the comic book franchises.
Now, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm fair enough. But you do see him on screen as, pre-burned cinder self. So are you going to be judging the Spawn actor, Michael Jai White, on his burned status as opposed to the way he looked before he was burned up?
I don't think I saw Spawn.
Jesus Christ, you didn't include Spawn? Michael Jai White's the man. I mean, I don't know about sexual attraction. He's just cool.
No, because it came out in 1997.
Oh, what was your cutoff date?
2000.
All right, fair enough.
So it didn't make the list by 3 years. But yeah, no. Ryan Reynolds is actually on here 4 times, both as Wade Wilson and as Deadpool. Mm-hmm. So anyone who ranked a 2 or above made it onto the second round. So that is a total of 64 gentlemen. And here we move on to the next round, the specific criteria round. In this round, we have beard capable, we have hairline, we have muscles, we have good smile. So the specific ranking system for the beard capable is -1 for bad beard, 0 for no, so they get no negative points for having no beard, and then 1 for yes, beard capable. Mm-hmm. For the hair, we get -1 points for shoddy hairlines, we get 0 points for bald, and we get 1 point for good hairline.
Now remind me, because I do recall vaguely a conversation we had about this. Chris Evans' hairline is fake news. So are you judging them on their actual hairline or presented hairline?
Presented hairline.
Okay.
Because the character's hairline is presumably not fake news.
Right. That is, I'm assuming Chris Evans wants you to believe his hairline is real.
But Captain America's hairline is most certainly real. Let's be honest.
Oh, fuck yeah. Steve Rogers, he ain't a bald man.
Exactly. There you go.
Now, Chris Evans, on the other hand, that guy's lying like a fucking snake under a rug.
Next category, number 3, has muscles. Now, you can get docked points for having too big of muscles and or for being too skinny in the muscles department. Then there is no for just flat out doesn't really have muscles, nothing of substance there, which is different from skinny because you can still be skinny but muscular. This is just, fleshiness, I guess. And then yes is 1 point. So like if you just do have generic, nothing too big and fancy or nothing too slim and yes, you get 1 point.
And quick question. The CGI muscles, did you hold that against the character at all?
I actually didn't consider that at all.
Okay. Just to point out, Chris Evans' moobs are totally CGI. Just putting that out there.
I can't always tell with CGI, so I don't think it would be super accurate, scientific, standard.
Yeah. Right.
Because not all CGI is created equal.
No, it's not. I just remember whatever the hell movie it was we were recently watching where, oh yeah, Twilight. You kept talking about how Edward Cullen's abs were CGI'd.
Well, not CGI, they were airbrushed onto him.
Airbrushed. Oh, okay, airbrushed. Is that what you were arguing? That they had, like, actually make-upped his abs onto him? I didn't realize that's what you meant.
That is an actual fact, sir. Like, you can look that up.
Holy shit.
They had to airbrush abs onto that gentleman for that movie.
That's crazy, damn.
Yeah, I know, right? The fourth part of the criteria for the second round was a good smile. So there was just straight up no. And that's not necessarily snaggledy tooth smile, although that's typically where that fell. It's also like if it's just not a good looking smile, if it looks creepy. And then there's the neutral, they have straight teeth, but honestly the smile just doesn't reach their eyes. It's not warm and inviting like a smile's supposed to be. And you get 1 point for if that is the case, if you have a warm and inviting smile. And then those are totaled up, and the sum of 4 moves you on to the next round. So the one reject that actually got negative points, as you can see, was our boy Andrew Garfield.
And this is the photograph you're judging his unwarm smile on?
Yes, this is not a warm smile to me. This doesn't like quite all the way reach both of his eyes to the point where it creases them in a way that makes me feel like, yes, he is feeling genuine joy here. And this was the most decent picture I could find of him.
Really?
Well, of the initial ones that I could find. Not the most decent.
That is not a complimentary photograph of that man. Holy shit. All right, go ahead.
So the way that I based this off of was I Googled the thing that I was looking for in that actor or that character, and it was within the first splash of images across Google. That was where I limited myself to, because if I went looking for images, of course you're going to find different ones, but the most recent ones are typically the ones that are at the top right there on the front splash. They're the ones that you're going to see right off the bat. Sometimes they can be the most flattering, or they're not the most flattering. It really depends. But yeah, this was the face that just didn't help him at all, rank-wise. Like, look at that hairline.
Yeah, I hear you. I like Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, being a long time since childhood Spider-Man fan, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, that ain't no Pete. Interesting. That's not a very good photograph of the guy. Wow.
Nope. So, as you can see, I color coordinated.
Of course.
Yes, of course, because that's me. Who was in, like, well, the negative one is a rank all its own, but, like, the ones area, then there's the 2s and the 3s. And so we'll look at the 3s before I move on to the 4s and who made the 4s. A few of the 3s, and I called them bench warmers.
Okay.
So here's Ben Flack. He was a bench warmer.
Really?
Yes, and the reason why is because look at that smile. Do you see that smile? That's not a warm and inviting smile.
Well, that's like a... God, you're going to judge a man's smile based entirely on one Comic-Con photograph, huh? All right. I don't know. He was looking ripped as fuck in Batman films, and, he worked. He did not skip gym day. Okay, wow, he's kicked right out of the tops. All right, there it is.
So next is Chris Pratt.
Really?
Yes.
I know women that swoon over this man.
Chris Pratt also didn't make it because of his smile.
Okay.
This one isn't of him smiling, but the ones that I could find, or attempting to smile, but the ones that I could find just did not impress me, so he did not rank. Of course, he didn't get a negative point, but he got a 0 in that department. Then this is Jamon Hoson. I wish I could pronounce that better. Hone Sao, who plays, like, I think 3 different characters in the entirety of all of these movies that I watched. He plays that wizard from the Shazam movie, the old wizard. He plays, I believe it was Heimdall. And he also plays another guy in... Oh, he plays Midnight and... No, maybe he plays 4 characters. He plays Midnight in the Wolverine movie, I believe it was. And Korath in... I can't remember for the life of me which movie it was. Another person that did not make the list. Dolph Lundgren.
Well, yeah, that guy's been acting since 80s action flicks, but fair enough.
He's one of the elder gentlemen on the list, but I think that he aged well enough to rank on the list. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't make the list because of what?
Well, it certainly wasn't intelligence. The man has a PhD.
No, it wasn't intelligence. Okay, if this list had been based off of perceived personality, character, them as a person... This was a popularity contest based on, like, how much I liked them as a person. It would look a lot different than it turned out to be.
Oh, yeah. The whole point is that you're objectifying them. I hear you.
So, yeah, he didn't rank because of intelligence. He ranked because I could do it. And also, Dolph did not have a good smile. That was it. People lost out on the smile quite frequently with this round. That was, like, the big tanker regarding... people's scores, unfortunately. Idris Elba also did not make the list, and that was because...
Another actor I know women that swoon over.
Yeah,
wow.
I know, right? I'm just so severe on these people.
I mean, I know women that talk about that guy's swagger constantly.
He didn't make the list because of his smile again. Because of that. Right there. That was what did it for me.
Well, he's an older gentleman, and I would imagine much like any female catwalk model, they learn to smile, not using the top half of their face, so no crow's feet appear. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
That's unfortunate because I don't mind the crow's feet look. It doesn't not do anything for me. I think it makes the face more lived in, and that's a good thing. I like a person who has been enjoying life thoroughly enough to have creases in their face that express that to people. But, whatever. Fine, you want to look flawless and shit? Go ahead. Iowan Gruffood. Gruffood. Mr. Fantastic.
He's looking pretty rugged there. He never looked that good as Reed Richards.
No, he didn't. I just grabbed a picture because I was in a rush. Muscles. He had none. That was why. Jake Gyllenhaal also did not make the list. As you can probably tell.
Well, that picture, that's great. I mean, nobody's questioning why you rejected Jake Gyllenhaal for that picture. That just says derp.
You ain't wrong. That is the face of rejected. James McAvoy also did not make the list, and it was also because I did not like his smile.
Fuck, he's looking rugged as shit there.
It doesn't matter if you look rugged as shit. If you can look rugged as shit, your smile has to reach your eyes.
I love me some McAvoy, man.
I know. He hot AF, but honestly, if the list was as subjective as you insisted it was going to be, he probably would have made the top 10.
Okay, all right.
So he was a surprising reject from the 4s, because he's a 3, not a 4. Jeremy Renner also should have been on the list, but did not rank on the list.
Shit! My man Renner got kicked! Fuck! That's rough. I love me some Jeremy Renner, man. That guy's the underrated action star. Okay, all right, fair enough. Is it because he's short? Is that why?
No, it's because of his muscles.
What do you mean?
They were lacking in the pictures that I looked up of him. They were lacking.
All right. Shit. Weebo's cold-hearted in her clinical analysis here, right?
That was the point of this. Next up, Michael B. Jordan, who technically was on the list twice, but didn't make the list either time. Because, as you can see, his smile. Look at that. That is supposed to give me the impression that you're enjoying life? Are you sure about that, sir? I don't think so.
All right.
Someone who ranked on the list that probably was super surprising to everybody, who ranked as high as he did, Peter Dinklage. He
didn't make the list.
He didn't make the list,
okay.
Which is a lot higher than a lot of the other people. Like, for instance, Brendan Routh did not make the list of 2s. He was in the first one, and he was Superman at one point. Andrew Garfield didn't even qualify for a positive number in this, but Peter Dinklage ranked, which is pretty alright.
Well, I mean, that man has the beard potential. No question about that.
Yeah, he does. Oh, absolutely. And honestly, if I could give extra points, I would for that beard alone. But we gotta keep it scientific.
All right.
And then Tom Hardy also did not make the list.
Fucking hell. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's more about what I've heard women say than anything I think. Like, I'm the most shocked that Jeremy Renner didn't make the list. That's like,
Yeah.
fuck, my man Renner got kicked off. Oh, shit. But this guy, I hear women swoon. Okay, cool.
And then, so that was the rejects. Among the other rejects, so we have Ben Affleck, Sean Asmore, Benjamin Bratt, Christian Bale, Cillian Murphy, who was Jonathan Crane, although he was a 3, which was actually surprising to me because I didn't think you'd get that high. Aaron Eckhart, Paul Rudd didn't make the list, Chris Pine didn't make the list either, believe it or not.
Chris Pine. Fuck. That's rough.
And I think those are all the surprising ones that you'll find. Before I go on to the final round of 4s, because there were 12 4s total, I did rank them in order from like 1 to 10, and so I'll show you the first 10 and then the last 2, I guess, too. Who do you think is going to be on the list and where?
Is going to be, I'm sorry, what?
Who do you think is going to be on the final round list and where?
I have a super strong suspicion who number 1 or 2 is going to be.
Okay, what are they?
Well, Henry Cavill, I think, is going to be number 1, and if not, number 2.
Okay. So then who's the other top tier person? Because you said 1 or 2.
I think Evans is going to be 7 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
See, because let me tell you something. It's I want a name type of guy, considering the things that I've heard Weebo swoon over, as opposed to particular gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Because there might be people that aren't just coming to mind because how many with 200 and how many?
256 or 54?
256 guys. That's a lot of gentlemen's names to remember. So I like Weebo does the beefcake thing. Like she does the beefcake thing. Just think of Henry Cavill. Okay, big dude, right? Okay, square jaw. You understand what I'm talking about? Big pecs, a little bit of hair on his chest, but he ain't no wolf man. You know what I mean? Just think of Cavill, and you're into Weebo's zone. I'll decline from making any more explicit commentary on it than that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking, what's his name will be up there? Actor who played Wolverine.
Oh crap! Now I'm totally blanking on it. Hugh Jackman. So where is he?
Hugh Jackman. I mean, Jackman won't make it up there because he's not the tallest of gentlemen, but his hairline ain't fake news. Mm-hmm. He's got the muscles, no question. That man did never skip gym day. Mm-hmm. He's got that big ass warm smile.
Yeah.
I figure. Did you count 300 as a comic book movie? No. Okay. Then, because I thought that actor would have made it up there because he's like rugged individualist, manly man who can definitely build muscles. The Scottish actor who plays Leonidas.
Oh.
Trying to remember his name.
I know this, but I don't know this.
Yeah, we got viewers yelling at the screen. You morons! It's blah blah blah.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, I figured he would have been up there because that guy cuts a rugged masculinity pose. I would have to imagine.
Oh yeah. Yeehaw.
So the most I'll be able to do is like yell at the screen. See, I told you. This is Weebo's zone right here. Like that guy. Right. Well, that's the best I can do without like having individual gentlemen's names pop into mind right now. I believe Henry Cavill will be up there. I believe Hugh Jackman will be up there. Chris Evans will be up there. That's why I'm surprised Chris Pratt didn't make it. I would have thought because after he went to the gym and remade his image from his previous self on TV, I thought he managed the beefcake-ism quite well.
Chris Pratt didn't make it because of his smile.
Wow.
Like I said, that was the big eliminating factor for a lot of these gentlemen, was the fact that they just didn't want to fucking have a nice smile for once in their goddamn lives. And you know, that's actually pretty funny because women get that all the time. Like, oh, smile, sweetheart. Supposedly. I don't know. I've never actually had that because I have no problem smiling my ass off. But, you know, it is what it is.
I would like to add in one final thing. You asking me what I think. This was one of my uncomfortable things. And yes, I am uncomfortable here. Because I'm being asked to judge men on their attractiveness, and this is just a no-go for me. The best I can do is that guy looks cool, or yeah, man, I'd love to wear that guy's jacket, or whatever, because that's just how guys think about guys, right?
Yeah.
Whereas women, I think, can be, you know, like you were making this commentary about these women where it's like, oh, I like her lips. Oh, yeah, her eyes are really attractive, and they've got that come hither look. And you're not going to hear me saying anything remotely close to that kind of shit here. I'm just going to be like,
No.
yeah, that guy looks all right. Like, and I'm saying like whether or not he looks cool. You know, that's.
Well, that's why I went for the more clinical approach to this, and that's why my criteria is so like it is.
All right.